We are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears. As we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. For centuries, the sound of a train whistle in the distance has been a symbol of American freedom. It's the sound of progress, a way to travel, to escape, a part of our transportation system, a romantic reminder of a world connected by iron and steam. But who knew one man saw this system as a way for him to cause harm and to kill innocent people? In the late 1990s, Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz was this monster, who started his reign of terrorizing terror. For those who lived nearby the intersecting veins of the American railway, Resséndiz would leave a trail on our train tracks of horror and bloodstains, because the tracks didn't just bring cargo, they brought a phantom in the night, a stalker, a true killer. For a man who had no car, who left no tire tracks, he could cross borders in a day, moving like a ghost through the industrial veins of the country. He would just step off a moving boxcar, walk into a home near the tracks, commit unspeakable atrocities, and vanish back into the diesel smoke before the bodies were even cold. Hello, PHS crew, new viewers and subscribers. Welcome. Today, we are taking a deep dive into Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz, the railroad killer, and the nightmare he left behind. But before we start, can you please do us a favor? If you're new, can you please click subscribe? We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, 2026. It's free. It won't cost you anything. This will help our small channel grow. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, let's start the video.
Hello, PHS crew. We have a question for you. Have you ever heard of the Resséndiz railway killer case before? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. We are dying to know.
To understand Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz, you have to understand the geography of his malice. He wasn't your typical serial killer who hunted in a specific neighborhood or preferred a certain type of victim. His hunting ground was the entire North American continent, bound together by thousands of miles of steel. He was a master of using the railroad system. Born in Izúcar de Matamoros, Puebla, Mexico, Resséndiz was born on August 1st, 1959. He wasn't just a hitchhiker. He knew the train schedules better than some conductors. He knew which boxcars stayed unlocked, where the train slowed down around sharp bends, and where the blind spots were in the rail yards. Between 1986 and 1999, Resséndiz used his transient lifestyle to execute a chaotic, unpredictable campaign of violence. Because he relied on the spontaneity of the rails, he was the worst kind of serial killer. Because of the randomness of how he chose his victims. To the police, his pattern didn't make any sense, because his victims were chosen purely by geography and chances. If you lived within walking distance of a railroad track, you were in his crosshairs. We think of our homes as our fortress. You lock the front door, you check the windows, you try to make sure we are safe and secure. But Resséndiz didn't care about locks. He possessed an almost supernatural ability to slip into homes unnoticed while his victims slept. Take the case of Dr. Claudia Benton. On December 16, 1998, Dr. Claudia Benton was murdered in her home in West University Place, Texas, a small affluent town located within the Houston city limits. The evidence found by the police at her home indicated that the murderer broke into the house and attacked Dr. Benton while she was in her bed alone. Unfortunately, Dr. Benton's husband and 2 children were away on a trip at the time. They weren't at home. Dr. Benton had been stabbed repeatedly in her back and hands. She had 19 blunt force injuries to her head, including 3 depression fractures to her skull. Dr. Benton's autopsy also revealed that she had been sexually assaulted. The cause of death was multiple stab wounds and blunt force trauma. A banjo, a guitar, a stereo, and numerous pieces of jewelry were stolen from Dr. Benton's house. Her Jeep was also stolen from her garage. Dr. Benton's murder received widespread publicity in Houston because the small West University Place, WUP, police department was not adequately equipped to handle such a complicated crime scene. The Houston Police Department had to conduct the forensic work at the scene. The Houston Police Department recovered latent fingerprints from Dr. Benton's Jeep's broken steering column. What is crazy, after Resendez taking Dr. Benton's life, Resendez did something that baffled profilers. He didn't run away. He stayed. He rummaged through her kitchen. He ate her food. And I know this sounds deranged. He drove her car he stole to a railway station, where he hopped right back onto a train. He was a very sick and depraved man. It was like the FBI was chasing a ghost, because he used dozens of aliases, including Rafael Resendez Ramirez. They didn't have much evidence to go on. Resendez had been deported multiple times. His fingerprints were scattered across different government databases under different names. The left hand of law enforcement didn't know what the right hand was doing. They were just as confused and lost when it came to this monster. And while the bureaucracy stalled, the body count rose. He was evolving from a transient thief into an apex predator. Serious death. They look at your family members and friends. They instantly become suspects. They are placed on top of the list until they are eliminated and dismissed. Unfortunately, this is where my story begins. The day when my world came crashing down to a disastrous end. When the FBI finally put him on the top 10 most wanted list in June 1999, the public demanded to know why. What drives a man to live in the filth of boxcars and emerge only to slaughter strangers? The truth inside Resendez's mind was a labyrinth of severe mental illness and dark delusion. Later, psychiatric evaluations revealed that Resendez believed he was a chosen instrument of God. He wasn't just killing in his twisted reality. He believed his victims were evil, or that by destroying them, he was preventing a greater cataclysm. He claimed to be a shapeshifter. He claimed the train spoke to him. I am part man, part animal, he would later tell the examiners. He viewed the railway system not as a network of transportation, but as a giant altar, and he was the high priest, scattering offerings along the tracks. Resendez's sister and the surrender. By the summer of 1999, the manhunt was costing millions. Border towns were paralyzed by fear. People slept with shotguns in their laps. But the breakthrough didn't come from a brilliant piece of detective work. It came from a crisis of conscience. Resendez's sister, Manuela. June 1999. Manuela knew her brother was a wanted man. She saw his face on the television. She loved her brother. But she also saw the faces of the victims. She feared that if the FBI found him in a rail yard, they would shoot him on sight. She made a desperate deal with a Texas Ranger named Drew Carter. Carter promised that if Resendez surrendered peacefully, his safety would be guaranteed, and he would be treated humanely. On July 12, 1999, Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz walked across the bridge from Mexico into El Paso, Texas. He reached out, shook Ranger Carter's hand, and surrendered. The rain on the terror rails was over. Just like that. The echo on the tracks. Resendez was convicted of capital murder. On June 27, 2006, he was executed by lethal injection in Huntsville, Texas. Before the chemicals took effect, he looked toward the witness gallery and apologized, asking for forgiveness. But for the families of the 15 confirmed victims and the potentially dozens of others whose cases remain unsolved, his apologies did little to quiet his past transgressions. Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz is none gone, but he left behind many questions left unanswered. Next time you're lying awake at night, and you hear that distant, lonely train whistle echo through the dark, get up and make sure your window is locked. This will conclude the Nightmare of the Railroad Killer, Ángel MATURINO Resséndiz. We hope you enjoyed this deep, dark dive. If you did enjoy it, then please like, share, and comment to let us know. And if you're new, please subscribe. Again, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers this year for 2026. Become a part of the PHS crew. And since you made it this far, then why don't you click on the iCard? We have many original horror stories and deep dives you will enjoy. We appreciate and thank you all, and we will see you in our next video.